Hadush Kebatu, the asylum seeker and sex offender who was freed from prison by mistake, is now back in custody and due to be deported as early as tomorrow. But still, plenty of questions for the prison service and the government about how this embarrassing episode ever happened.
Mr. Kebatu was scheduled to be transferred from HMP Chelmsford to an immigration removal centre, from which he was to be deported. Due to what appears to have been human error, he was instead released into the community. This was a mistake that should not have happened. The victims expect better, the public expects better, and this government expects better.
And now a promise that a review led by Dame Lynn Owens, a former director of the National Crime Agency and Deputy Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, will get to the bottom of what happened, with changes to the releasing process effective from now. We've obtained these documents. At 5 pages long, they're a new release checklist for a more senior member of staff to carry out, with sources suggesting it could add up to an extra 40 minutes of work per person. The main change is that a duty governor will now be responsible for implementing each check the day before. There's a specific list of questions covering foreign national offenders, and it asks the governor to make sure there are no deportation orders in place when the inmate's discharged.
I think there'll be more stringent and more robust procedures in place. I would hope they would introduce staff training, and I would hope that they robustly manage the system and overhaul it so this never happens again. We're here to protect the public, and this is a failure.
I'm arrested on suspicion of sexual assault on a female under 16 years old.
Kebatu was arrested in the summer for the sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl and a woman in Epping. His crimes happened days after he'd arrived in the UK on a small boat, and his case was a high-profile one from the start, sparking a summer of protests and political debate. But the reality is that this is a problem that's on the rise. 262 people were released in error in the year to March. That's more than double the year before. And while this inquiry will look to establish exactly what went wrong in this case, this is a system that's not working, that's under pressure and subject to scrutiny.
It's partly to do with the churn in prisons, it's partly to do with inexperienced staff, and I think it's partly to do with the fact that there have been so many different versions of early release schemes that people are just getting confused.
Successive governments have long been accused of sticking plaster politics when it comes to prisons. They are institutions that are ultimately supposed to protect the public and rehabilitate offenders. The events of the weekend make even the basics look difficult. Mollie Malone, Sky News.